Today we're going to talk about really miserable and trash pickup guys.
There's no VIP section, there is no concierge, only conmen, killers, and kingpins.
Sean Combs is dangerous and poses an ongoing threat to the safety of the community, adding that he's a flight risk.
Federal courtroom 17 in Manhattan exploded like a bomb, not because of what Cassie Ventura, former singer ex-lover and longtime victim of Sean Diddy Combs, testified on the witness stand, but because of her husband, Alex Fine. After listening to Cassie speak about her past torture, rape, trafficking, and psychological manipulation at the hands of Diddy, Alex Fine could no longer hold it in. In a flash, he burst from the gallery like a storm made flesh, knocking over the defense attorney, tossing aside court officers, and roaring, "What did you do to my wife? You need to disappear, you monster." What did Cassie say? What could be so horrifying that it made a man, a normally composed fitness trainer, lose all control and charge into a courtroom like a living hurricane? What happened behind the golden bedroom doors that once belonged to Diddy's private kingdom? If it was merely a broken relationship, a bitter breakup, could it have turned into a testimony? This explosive discover everything in the video that follows. The unexpected courtroom attack.
Hello everyone, my name is Erwin Javier and today, excited akong i-share sa inyo ang trading experience ko dito kay Expert Option.
On the 9th day in the Manhattan courtroom, Cassie had just finished her nearly 4-hour testimony. Pregnant and visibly exhausted, she stood there on the witness stand, no longer a billboard-charting pop singer, but a living witness, a shattered mirror reflecting the depravity Sean Diddy Combs had inflicted on her body and soul. She kept her head bowed as if she had just broken free from an invisible chain that had been choking her for a decade. Suddenly, the courtroom's silence was cut by the sharp screech of a chair dragging across the floor, startling everyone. Alex Fine, Cassie's husband, stood up from the public gallery, his face flushed red, fists clenched so tight the veins bulged on his knuckles. Gone was the usual calm of the fitness coach, his face twisted in rage, eyes bloodshot like a cornered animal. In an instant, he lunged toward the defendant's table, where Diddy sat in silence. "What did you do to my wife?" The scream tore through the room like a bullet straight through the chest of the courtroom. "You deserve to die, you monster." The microphone on the witness table shrieked as Alex slammed into it, his right hand launching a punch through the air, aimed directly at the face the press had once called a hip-hop icon. A defense attorney tried to block his path, but was shoved aside, sliding like a sandbag across the tiled floor. A court officer rushed in, only to be thrown back, his shoulder, ripped belt, askew. "I heard everything, every single word," Alex shouted as he nearly reached Diddy. "You made her describe it all. You made my wife sit in that filth and asked her if she enjoyed it. Are you even human?" One hand nearly brushed Diddy's shoulder before 3 officers simultaneously tackled him. Alex thrashed legs, kicking wildly, eyes blazing, still shouting, "You sit there like a king. Who do you think you are, Sean? You should be tied to a stake. You should kneel and look. Every woman you hurt in the eyes, you used power to humiliate her. She was only 19 when you dragged her into the dark. You're not a father. You're not even a man. You're filth," Alex screamed as he was pinned to the floor, hands cuffed, blood seeping from his wrists where the metal bit into his skin. Diddy stepped back, 2 paces, face pale, shielding, half his face like he expected to be struck. He said nothing. His eyes bulged like a dead fish mouth agape. A far cry from the man who once sat front row at the Met Gala, shook hands with presidents, and laughed aboard million-dollar yachts. Now Diddy was just a shriveled, trembling figure, cornered by the righteous fury of a husband. 4 officers finally subdued Alex. He was held down, wrists cuffed behind his back, but still struggled, choking out words. I had to hear every word my wife said. Do you understand what she endured, what this bastard did to her? I couldn't just sit there. His voice cracked not from weakness, but from a heart exploding between justice and love. On the witness stand, Cassie raised a hand to her mouth, not to stop the tears, but to hold in the scream rising from her chest. The pain she thought she had learned to bear now erupted in a new form, when the only man who ever loved her unconditionally became a secondary victim of the same monster. Judge Aaron Subramanian slammed his gavel 3 times, each crack sharp as a starter pistol. Court is in recess, he declared, voice grinding like metal. Remove the defendant to a private chamber. Witness to the waiting room. And anyone in the gallery who cannot remain calm, step outside and do not return. This is a courtroom, not a gladiator arena. His voice wasn't loud, but it landed like a sentence. Diddy was escorted out through the back exit. The hallway lights cast a sickly glow on his face, highlighting beads of sweat rolling down his neck. Gone was the swagger of a hip-hop king. Gone was the smirk. All that remained was the fallen shadow of a man, a symbol unraveling before the very eyes that once worshipped him. The next day, every front page carried the photo of Alex Fine being dragged from the courtroom by police. But the public didn't condemn him. On the contrary, he was hailed as the last man willing to lose his mind for justice. The hashtag Justice for Cassie trended across Twitter and Instagram. Hundreds of thousands shared that moment, not just for its drama, but because they saw themselves in that rage. No one wants to live in a world where good people stay silent. So what did Cassie endure? What could she possibly have said that transformed a calm man like Alex Fine into a roaring tempest in open court